That Miami race.
3 leaders in the last 3 laps.
Insane.
3 leaders last 3 laps, and nobody. Well, I don't think anybody touched anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just wow. I get so aggravated anymore when people tell me that the NASCAR racing isn't as good anymore. And when I'm sitting in the shop watching it, oh my gosh, it looks like it's never been as entertaining as it is now. That was a phenomenal race.
Let's do something real quick here. To your point, I want to prove you. This is good stuff. So Jeff Gluck, who is a major NASCAR media member, I don't know if this is good that Gluck does this, because if there is a race that doesn't go real good, then everybody can, well, look at Jeff Gluck's poll. It shows it. Okay, here it is. You go ahead, and there it is at the top. Look at that to prove your point.
288,000 followers was
read what he wrote at that pin there. He took a poll of that race.
Yeah, it was Homestead. Okay, yeah. But I was saying it's 288,000 followers. Was Homestead a good race? Only 94% thought it was a good race. I mean, that's pretty strong, and that's as hard nowadays as it is to make people happy.
That's insane, ain't it?
I mean, I think, that is phenomenal.
Yeah. So I'm just like you. I'm like glued to this. I'm busy. I'm doing some things, but still.
I know, because you're the only one that works in your car. You do it all by yourself. I heard that once or twice.
Okay.
But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Get back to your deal. That'll come up sometime.
Why? Yeah, that is another subject for another show.
Yeah.
Why do I shove it down people's throats? And there's a theory to that. So, and I'm glad that Junior.
Why you shove that down people's throats? That you're the one that does everything?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's a whole nother.
That's another show.
But I'm really curious to hear it.
Yeah. So I'm doing my deal, and I'm like you. I'm watching this race. Well, I get to the point where I got to sit down and watch this race because
I was there. I stopped walking around listening and said, "Okay, it's time to sit down now and watch it."
Because it was that good.
Yes.
Miami.
Yes.
What I liked is that when they put on new tires, it was like Reddick was on the dead bottom. Blaney's left front tire was eating the white line. Then Denny decided to run the middle, and then they all went to the top. It was like, holy crap, they're mopping this track up.
Yeah. And we've seen a lot of tracks like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of the wider tires or what that they've got now, but I mean, they're using the tracks seem like to me they appear like they've gotten wider. We used to kind of argue over space, and they're not doing that as much anymore.
I want to ask you a question, and you taught me this when I first started dirt racing. The track would be real grippy, and then it would be really slippery. But okay, let's come to the checkered flag. Okay, we're going down the back straightaway, and Blaney's leading, Reddick's second, Denny Hamlin's third. In your mind, Blaney said after the race, he goes, I thought I drove it in deep. He goes, I went in deeper than I have all day. How in the hell did Reddick drive it in so hard, and he was 3 feet off the wall? You're a great racer. In your mind, you go, okay, it's the end of the race and come to the checker. How did he know that he could get in that deep?
I don't know if he knew he could. He knew he had to try. When I first watched it, I thought, man, why didn't Ryan just blow the top or run the top?
Yeah.
But then we just watched, and Ryan had to be watching his rearview mirror. The turn before, Tyler went down to the bottom.
Yeah.
And got the job done on Denny. So it's like, I kind of got to, I don't know where I got to go. He was in a rough situation, but man, it's just how hard those guys are driving. I mean, every lap. They're just running hard.
Denny Hamlin said in his interview, and listen, I could relate, and I know you can too. Denny said when he was leading, he just didn't know where to run.
Yeah.
Because they were all, if he went high, they went low. If he went high, vice versa. It reminds me of, a lot of our dirt races. It's like you got the signal man. You're like, listen, I'm doing everything I can do. And I think Denny just did everything he knew to do.
Yeah.
He was devastated because, that would have put him in.
Well, it would put Blaney in. It would put,
Yeah.
I mean, it's that important. When they very, very, very first come out with the playoffs,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, man, I don't know about that. Now it's like, oh, that's exciting.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, to watch Martinsville next week and watch them points on the bottom of that TV, who's in, who's out, and the way it changes. I mean, Denny and Ryan both went from in to having a hell of a job ahead of them next week at Martinsville in the last 2 laps.
In Martinsville, you got to watch it because it's the theory that, oh, my God, Denny Hamlin's not going to make it. Ryan Blaney's not going to make it. Or what? Who's in, who's out?
Yeah. I only screamed at TV one time yesterday.
When?
Well, when Larson shot the gap.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, no.
Oh, my
but
gosh.
That's what makes him so good is he does that stuff, and 90% of the time he makes it work.
He gets away with it.
Yeah, and that time it just didn't quite work. Nothing stupid. I mean, he just needed, if he just had a little bit more grip, but it was like no, but still come back. He's out, but he's not. It's nothing he can't overcome. But Martinsville's, these guys are going to be, it's going to be stressful for all of them.
Yeah, 500 laps because you made me laugh hysterically. You and I were getting in the car, getting ready for Martinsville, and you looked at me and you said, "Are you ready to go car wrestling?"
Car wrestling,
and I laughed because Martinsville, you had the asphalt corners and the concrete straightaways, and the car would just constantly, the car was always shaking up off the corner, and I knew what you meant.
Concrete corners,
yeah, well,
asphalt straightaways.
Yeah, well, and race fans, this is what he does to me all the time.
I just correct you when you're wrong.
Yeah.
You correct me when I'm wrong. It's not nothing.
Martinsville is car wrestling.
Martinsville is car wrestling. Now it doesn't appear that the guys they're gently moving now. They're not wrestling as much, I don't think.
When I got done with Martinsville, my left ass cheek hurt. 500 laps. We're getting out. We're trying to walk to get to our car to go home. Every once in a while, I would be limping because we pushed that brake 1,000 times.
Yeah.
You pushed that brake 1,000 times at Martinsville.
Yeah, and then you pump it some too.
Yeah,
but I think the brakes are so much better now.
Yeah. Okay, let's get back to that mindset. You brought it up, and I like that. What makes Larson? Was it open wheel? Was it dirt racing? Why does Larson make those questionable moves?
Well, everybody
it's
makes
exciting.
Everybody out there makes some questionable moves. You see his a lot more because he's up towards the front.
Always.
Yeah, up towards the front always. No, it's just, obviously he's got so much experience in so many different type of cars, and I think that definitely helps. Biggest thing that works for him is the extraordinary amount of talent that he has.
I thought you were going to say because he's used to 30-lap World of Outlaw sprint car race, you got to shoot the gap.
Yeah, he's on all the time, but just the extraordinary amount of talent.
You're having a tough time with that word.
That's extraordinary.
That was my only shot I'll probably get this whole show.
You take any shot you can get, buddy. Now, coming back at you.
All right, Kenny, let's you do the points. Just rattle off the top 8 to everybody where we're at.
Well, we got Reddick and Logano locked in. for the Phoenix race because they have won. We have Christopher Bell, 29 to the good.
That's not safe.
It's not safe, but it's the third best place you could be right now.
Yep.
I mean, it could be a lot worse. We have William Byron, 7 to the good.
Old Bill.
Yeah. So his teammate, those are the four that, if it ended now, well, guess what?
Yeah.
It's not ending now.
Yeah.
So really, we've just got Reddick and Logano locked in. Now, Larson is 5th, 7 out. Denny is 6th, 18 out. Ryan Blaney is 38 out. And Chase is 43 out. In my mind, Ryan...
That's a deep breath, is right.
Yeah. Ryan and Chase, which, man, those are two of my favorites. They can't do good enough
to
get in. They can do everything they can do, but they need a little help from a couple other guys to have problems.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, they've got an uphill deal. 18, Denny's 18 down. We see him. Let's say I'm going to be watching TV. I wouldn't even think about trying to make a guess on that one.
Yeah, you're going to wait. Okay, so we all like Ryan Blaney, but I'm thinking you like Ryan Blaney a little extra because of his dad, Dave, and Sharon. They're salt of the earth.
Yeah. I raced with Dave quite a bit, and I just was always a big Dave Blaney. The Blaney family was always a big Blaney family, and Ryan is just like his daddy from what I've been around. Now, we got to remember, when I was around these guys, you know, they were yay high.
Yeah.
You know, but he just kind of just drives the car, stays pretty quiet.
Top 5 real quick, and then I want to finish on the Blaney deal. So Tyler Reddick wins the race. Ryan Blaney 2nd. Denny Hamlin 3rd. Christopher Bell 4th. And there was Chase Elliott in 5th. So that's Miami. Okay. In NASCAR, there's kind of a hidden rule that, okay, if your kid is going to drive our car, stay out of the way. And he's taking a drink of water. You agree with that? If your kid
Can you drink during the show? I mean,
yeah.
Well, I don't mean
there it is, race fans.
because if you can drink on the show, ain't gonna have no damn water here.
Yeah. So there's that hidden rule. Okay, if your kid is going to drive our cup car, the parents stay out of the way. We don't want you all up in here. It seems to me like Dave Blaney is just a badass. He just floats in there, and people have interviewed Dave. Dave, what do you tell your kid? And he's like, don't tell him nothing.
Yeah. You know, Dave won. He announced his retirement.
Oh yeah,
a month ago, a little over a month maybe.
Yeah.
He won his Daddy's Memorial Race at Sharon.
That's big.
And was talking to him a couple weeks later. We were up there, and it's like, so did you know you were going to retire? He said, hell, I'd done it 3 years ago. I just couldn't win the race. Yeah.
So that was it. So that's something I really
won
didn't
the
know.
race. Yeah, that's what he said.
So he thought, okay, now for me, this is kind of breaking news in the garage area, which is kind of my fun saying. There's a story behind that. We'll get to that one day, too. Breaking news in the garage area is kind of a comedic way. So you're telling me Dave, in his brain, if he could win Lou's race, which was his dad, Lou Blaney, if he could win it, then he would retire?
That's what he told me the other, month ago.
That's awesome, though.
He said, I'd have done it 3 years ago. But, it was last year, the year before, he won an outlaw show up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he just still good racer. Hell of a racer.
Okay, so Miami, I think we broke it all down. We'll leave the details up to Dale Jr. on his download and door bumper clear, but I think we hit the highlights. One last thing about Miami. People are saying, and the only reason I'm bringing it up is because I do see where they're coming from. You and I don't complain, but gosh, should they have kept the championship race there? Oh.
You watch Phoenix the last couple of years?
True.
Been pretty exciting. I don't think. I mean, we've got some tracks that maybe make for a little better race than some other ones.
Yeah.
But wherever you put these guys,
Yeah.
they're going to race.
That back straight. Oh, okay, front straightaway now. That front straightaway. I mean, should they just get rid of the real straightaway? Because they all run down on the apron and smash their noses of their car.
And the straightaway is not a problem. It's the turn at the end of the straightaway.
Yeah, like you always say, I'm going to let up when there's a corner coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's they've changed that track quite a bit, but and them new tires, when there aren't them new tires, that track's anything that's asphalt is considered track. Don't have an out of bounds line there.
So see, you brought up another subject. That track, the front straightaway at Phoenix, what are they calling it now? Basically, inbounds or out of bounds. I'm surprised at NASCAR because they're so big on boundaries. They allow you to just do whatever you want on that front. It is exciting, and I do like it.
Well, I don't know when you say they're so big on boundaries.
They call it track limits now. That's the new word. Two words, track limits.
But I don't know, and this is because I'm not there all the time, but, I mean, when I think of the boundaries, I think of Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, you do need to get up.
Mainly.
I've seen some catastrophic wrecks.
Yeah, Daytona and Talladega. Nothing good is going to happen if you're below that line when you get to the turn.
Xfinity race. Going down the back straightaway, Bobby Labonte goes on the apron, and I'm thinking he's got to get up because the corner's coming.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that wreck. It was catastrophic. Okay, it kind of reminds me of you and Rusty at Darlington, and you're shooting it 3 wide. Rusty's got his white glove out. No, Schrader.
Yeah.
No.
I should have paid a lot more attention. When that glove started coming out the window, I should have started backing off then, but I thought, I got it.
You got this clear.
It didn't work.
Wait, but that's, to me, you were somewhat of a Kyle Larson in your day. You were taking it. What was it?
Yeah, his worked more than that. Mine, that one didn't work at all. And I don't think percentage of that one working was real good. You
grew up in open wheel. You have always been known as a smart racer. Because you race for a living, though. Now, as you would say, you've tipped over a lot.
Yeah.
But when you did things like that early in your NASCAR career, was that because of your dirt racing background?
I don't think it's dirt racing. It's just it looked like something you could make. Didn't always work.
Who was it? Was it Nelson Piquet or somebody? Or who was it? Somebody. Ayrton Senna. That was it. Ayrton Senna said, "The day you don't take that gap is the day."
Right.
You're not
doing
it.
I think Mario was like, if everything feels under control, you're not going fast enough.
So track limits. Let's reel this back in. Track limits. So we're going down the back straightaway, Xfinity race 100 years ago. And I'm like, Bobby, no. And he's in the Sunoco Xfinity car at that time. It was not, his normal 44, red. And sure enough, we get to the end of that back straightaway. And it was like, oh, my God. And it was the most catastrophic wreck. He burst into flames. It's like, oh, the corner's coming up. And he couldn't get up. So track limits at Phoenix,
Yeah, well, how would you like to be the guy up in the tower at Phoenix controlling track limits?
No.
That wouldn't work too good. The only way you could limit that thing is put a concrete wall down there in that white line.
And then when you get down into turns 1 and 2, which is now the turns 1 and 2, now they're not even running on the track. Now they're on the apron.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you win. You're right. Phoenix is a hell of a track.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not saying, so's Homestead. So's all those places. Some of them make for a little better, wider, racing than others. But what makes those races good is those racers.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And I know you're going to get mad at me for doing this, but anytime I can.
So you're going to do it anyway, though.
Yeah,
We don't know what it is, but
I think you're still the winningest driver in history at Phoenix. And if you don't mind, before you slap me, where are your stats at there right now?
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
Kenny
none
Schrader.
of them were on Sundays. No, none of them were on Cup Sundays, and that's the only ones that matter.
No, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
I truly disagree with that because Dale Earnhardt Sr. said, Herman, there's thousands of great race car drivers, and you've won in everything. You've won in – okay, I'll quit. But
Okay,
you've won in
quit.
everything.
Yeah, Phoenix. I like Phoenix.
You like Phoenix. All right, everybody, that's NASCAR.